Welcome to the Wizards of Amazon podcast, where we cover all things private label. My name is Carlos Alvarez, and I will be your host for the show. Today, I have the most fascinating guest I believe I've ever invited to the show, Captain Robb Kessler, inventor and co-founder of Tieless.com. Robb, what's up? Thank you for coming to the show.
Carlos, my man, how are you?
Amazing. We connected where? I think LinkedIn. I reached out. Was it LinkedIn?
I think so.
And after seeing, initially I just saw $1 Million Collar. Then I checked out your site, Tieless.com. And I'm not going to spoil who you are, your backstory and everything here. But after reading just a few sentences, I was like, what are the chances he'll come on the show? This has got to be the most fascinating guy I know. Robb, can you, for listeners that I'm sure have not heard of you yet, can you tell us who you are? Why did I call you Captain? What is Tieless.com? What is $1 Million Collar?
Yeah, I'll give you the quick and dirty. So I am a 50-ton master captain. My wife and I started a charter business here in Los Angeles about 2 years ago because, our plates weren't full enough with all the things that we were doing. She's a Hollywood stunt woman. She's starting her own fitness app. And so, yeah, we like to keep busy. Yeah, I'm inventor of $1 Million Collar. The best way to picture that is think of a collar stay and then make it 9 inches long and put it down the front of your dress shirt where the buttons and the holes go. So I was standing there on my wedding day 7.5 years ago, brand new, freshly pressed shirt. It ended up looking so terrible before I even said I do that my wedding photos were ruined. I remember adjusting my shirt all day long. It was in the beach in Jamaica. And so I came home from Jamaica. I cut open a shirt. I shoved a piece of cardboard down the front where the buttons and the holes are and showed my new bride. And she finally understood who she had married and got where my mind goes. So 3 years later, it took 100 ruined shirts to figure out the design of the product, to make sure that it could it's sewn into the shirt. So every shirt has 2 layers where the buttons and the holes are. So it's sewn in, it's hidden in between the layers. And because of that, it knew it had to last the life of the shirt because I only want people to have to put it in once. And so I ruined 100 shirts, sending them to the dry cleaner until I realized how much heat they use. And so that's $1 Million Collar. And then Tieless is the first shirt designed to be worn without a tie, which obviously features $1 Million Collar. It's already built in. So the best way to think of it is $1 Million Collar is an aftermarket product that you can add to any shirt you already own. And Tieless is shirts with $1 Million Collar already built in. So that's kind of the long and dirty.
So your brand's just sole mission is to help people, maybe even lazy people, not look sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lazy. Look, to me, a dress shirt is the go-to piece that a guy puts on when he wants to look good. And in that want to look good realm, you can, untuck it, you can tuck it in, you can button it up, you can wear a tie. Like, it's the most versatile thing I think a guy can wear. So, and I just hate when things are asymmetrical. And so, I would iron it and I'd starch it and it would just drop and sag. You're in Miami, you know how much humidity is down there. We sell a ton in Miami. It just, nothing would ever stay. And so I want to look good when I put a dress shirt on. And I think when one side's, hanging down and sloppy and the other side's not the same hanging down and sloppy, I just hated it. So I'm not like fashion dude. I literally just saw a problem that drove me nuts and came up with a solution.
I wonder if those will work on my, it seems like all I wear now, these Columbia fishing shirts, these,
I
have
have
collars,
them. Yeah,
but they do this like lag.
Yep. Yeah, I have a bunch of those. Being a captain, I'm on the water all the time and in the sun. So I have a bunch of those. It's in all of my shirts. It works in linen shirts. I had a silk shirt made when my wife and I went to Vietnam. And I will tell you, you will never see a silk shirt sit as good as it does with $1 Million Collar inside. It's unbelievable.
I don't even know where to start with you. Like, okay, so I looked at your site. First of all, what is a stay? And you lost me on the description of how you're a captain. You're a captain. How does that work?
I'm a 50-ton master captain.
What does that mean?
So that is weight. So the boat I drive, for the most part, we have a 50-foot Sea Ray Sundancer, which is 30 tons. So it's just kind of the size of the boat. So I've been driving for a while, and it's just something I was passionate about. And we started this business, and it's just cranking right now because COVID. Everybody wants to get out of the house, get out in the water, and have some sun in their life. So
Wow. And a
yeah,
stay, what is a stay? I didn't know. I looked at the site and I was looking at it. I'm like, how does this fit in? You mentioned that the $1 million collar, you put it in and you can just leave it there, or did you need
right.
to keep taking it out?
So I call it a stay because like a collar stay. So a collar stay keeps that collar from curling. So we call this a placket stay, which this part of the shirt's called a placket, where the buttons and the holes are. So just trying to
For the
kind of
people,
relate.
that are listening, you're referring to the stay, I guess, is the button where the buttons go.
Well, my product is the stay. This is a placket stay. And it goes in between the layers where the buttons and the holes are to give reinforcement to the front of the shirt where your buttons and your holes are. So the tie used to kind of be the focal point when you would wear a tie, but since there are no ties, the focal point is that part of the chest and that opening. And as you can see, it kind of draws all the attention up to my face because everything is symmetrical and it's just pointing right up.
Yeah,
My
you're
head's
right.
like on a pedestal.
Yeah, you are absolutely
So
right. Like I do see that. No,
it's one of those things that once you see it, you can never unsee it. So when you walk around and you see people with a dress shirt on and it looks sloppy, it's going to be the most obvious thing you've ever seen now that you've seen that there's a better option.
How does everyone not own? I'm going to get them. I'm going to look for, I guess I'm going to get it online, and we'll get to that in a second. I see them on
They're
Amazon. I
on
see them on your
Amazon.
website. Yes. My wife's going to be elated. Okay. God. And normally at the end of this, I ask someone, do you know anybody else you think would be a good fit for the show? Okay. Your wife's a stunt woman?
Yeah. So we moved to LA 5 years ago. She was in fitness. She did modeling and things like that. She had her own gym back in Milwaukee, where we're from. And she really didn't know what she was going to do. She thought she was maybe going to work at Beachbody Corporate or something like that. We had a
Mm-hmm.
couple of, she had a few interviews and things, and that fell apart. And we just happened to be out hiking with like the leasing guy from our apartment building because he's got a German Shepherd and we have a Rottweiler. And he's like, one of our tenants is a stunt man. Do you want to meet him? And she's like, hell yeah, that sounds awesome. So we met him and they kind of hit it off, and he introduced her to a bunch of people. And so she was, if you saw Captain Marvel, she was one of the Skrull soldiers that fought Brie Larson.
What?
And she did Christopher Nolan's new movie Tenet that's coming out. She did 3 months on that. So she's done huge stuff in just 3 years. So
That is amazing. You're living the
yeah.
dream, man.
Yeah.
So let's go to Go Tieless and $1 Million Collar. What, you ruin 100 shirts. You see everybody with sloppy collars everywhere. So you know that, this is something that people need, but they need to know it exists.
Mm-hmm.
What did that look like? Like, how did you start getting it out there?
So we found that the product is very demonstrable. So you have to see the before and after. And if you see my business card, it's always a before and after picture, because I can just say, look, if you hate this, then you're going to love this. And
so one side with a sloppy collar, not sitting up, and the other one sloppy.
Always a before and after. So we said, how do we do that? How do we get that in front of people? So we hooked up with a bunch of the biggest fashion influencers on YouTube. Antonio Centeno from Real Men, Real Style, and Alpha M, Aaron Marino. We got with Jose Zuniga from Teaching Men's Fashion. A couple other guys. And so, we hooked up with those guys. We sent them the product. They did great videos before and after explaining it. And that was the way to visually see what we were. And that was what kind of launched us. And so once we started going with that, put the products on Amazon, and I don't know if they still do it, but 4 years ago, they would really kind of support new brands a little bit more. They drive a little extra traffic. They kind of help people get found. And our sales quickly, month over month, just grew and grew and grew and grew. So got on Amazon, started doing like merchant fulfilled Amazon, and then we did FBA. And it's been good.
What year are we talking about when you go to Amazon?
So we launched the company in January of 2016, and it may have been April of that year that we put them up on Amazon and just tried to start getting it going.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead. So you're referring to the honeymoon period.
Yeah. The very first 6 months, I think they do a little extra, for new sellers, or they used to. And I got in very early when I got to Los Angeles. I hooked up with some people and got into a men's group, and just really successful guys, mentors, and one is like one of the top sellers on Amazon, and he gave us a bunch of, he would do little master classes and things, and here's a couple secrets on how to get your stuff found, and I use those, and they seem to really work. So
The men's group, was it was a like a mastermind or?
So, I hate, it's not a networking group. It's not like BNI or any of those where
Thank
it's,
God.
everybody give me your card. We'll do business. It was really like a brotherhood. And it was just, it was all men. It was just, we talked about men's issues. We talked about business. There was time before the meeting to kind of hang out. It was every Saturday. And then every Sunday they had co-ed hikes. And so my wife and I would go on these hikes and talk to other people. And I ended up meeting some really amazing people and mentors. And, my buddy, Shaheen is one of the top sellers on Amazon. So
how did you find the group?
Serendipity. I mean, it's, you've heard a couple crazy stories already. We went to a Christmas party. So we got to LA in October of 2015. We had a Christmas party at the community room in our apartment building because we didn't really know anybody except for these kids at the leasing office. Some girls were walking by. My wife and one of the girls started talking. The girl's dog had just died, and her dog's name was my last name.
Oh God.
Which is like Kessler. Who names their dog Kessler?
Right.
So my wife and her instantly bonded, and they're chatting and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, I'm going on this business networking hike in 2 weeks. You should come. So I go to that hike. This is January of 2016. And I end up meeting this guy, Russ, who was one of the original 15 founders of Expedia.com. And he became a really good mentor and friend. And he got me into the group, the actual men's part of the group, where I met all these other crazy people. And it just kind of went from there. So, I think I like to call success is, I've heard it before, is like stacking opportunities, and just say yes and put yourself around people. And, that's how you get successful.
Well said. What, my listeners are going to kill me if I don't dive a little more deeper into, you just one day to the next decided you wanted to connect with a bunch of amazing influencers in your niche, and you just dialed them up, you emailed them, and everyone replied and everyone wanted to work. Like, what did that process look like?
Oh, the YouTube guys? No, they didn't want to right off the bat. Everybody knows that you pay to be on those guys. You pay to play. So, we sent samples to them, and we got conversations started, and, we paid for ads and paid for the sponsorship, and it was worth it. It was the investment for us. But I'll tell you, if you're going to do influencers in the future, to me, it's 300,000 subscribers and less. These guys have now gone to 3 and 4 and 5 million subscribers. And to me, they're not real subscribers. The guy that's got 150,000 subscribers is people that actually care about what he has to say. They're watching in their videos regularly. The guy with 5 million subscribers, our initial videos were like $1,500 and now they're $15,000. That $15,000 video is not as effective as you think it's going to be. I would rather spend 10 people at $1,500 than, because you're getting 10 people's perspectives, things that we were doing in the business and the way we were talking. We learned from those influencers that are fashion dudes how to talk, and we heard different perspectives, and we use that for advertising. So it was, to me, the more people that are reviewing the product, the more people that are talking about it, the better feedback you're going to get, and the better you're going to be able to communicate to that end consumer.
Do you also think that somebody with a million subscribers, let's say, people, they've been around so long that maybe the first 500,000 of them were from 6 years ago, and they're still showing as a subscriber, but they're not really, like, they've kind of moved on to something else?
Yeah, I think, it can get that way. One of the guys we went back and did a follow-up video with, he was putting out stuff every single day. So he's got 5 million subscribers, but he's only getting 100,000 views on a video. So don't worry so much about the subscriber number. Worry about how much penetration are they getting? How many views are they getting? What kind of comments are they getting? Because, we thought, oh, this guy's got 4 million viewers, we're going to sell out of our product when only 100,000 people saw the video. So,
and in reality, you got more sales from someone in the 100 to 300,000 range.
Oh, it's so much more effective because, again, I think, when you got 100,000, nobody knows who you are really. And like Aaron Marino was on Shark Tank twice. So people were following him just because, oh, I'm going to follow this guy who's on Shark Tank. I mean, and they don't really care what he's actually pitching or the videos he's putting out. So the guys with, 50,000 subscribers, that's hard fought 50,000, and likely the people that are watching are much more engaged than the guy that's got 500,000 or 5 million.
Very well said. What was your hardest part about Amazon?
My hardest part is I feel like they don't care about sellers like a fraction of what they care about buyers. And it's like, we're 50% of your business. If you didn't have us, you wouldn't have products. I mean, even though you're stealing everybody's products and making them in China or whatever, but it's like, it's so complicated to do it. We listed all of our shirts on Amazon for Go Tieless, and the white background was like 2 digits off of being perfectly dead white, and they suppressed all of our listings with no notifications. Unless you're in that Amazon account every single day, you don't know that those things, like, to me, Amazon is an outside sales guy. I make sure it's got inventory. When I get low on inventory, I check it and I reship it, but I'm not checking it every single day. And so all of a sudden sales are suppressed, the products are suppressed because the white background isn't perfectly white. I mean, it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely something you got to stay on all the time. I don't know how recent you've been messing with Amazon. Have you messed around with, they have like the posts program, which is like social media on Amazon. So I'm just assuming that would look really good with your before and afters.
I
Or
haven't
Amazon
seen that
Live
yet,
Video.
but I'll dig in it. Yeah. I'll dig into it. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh God, check out Amazon Live Video for sure. I see your product just crushing it there. All right. And what are next steps for you?
So Go Tieless is we have 4 colors available right now. Actually, during COVID, we launched Go Tieless essentially early this year, and thinking, God, the timing is, we missed Christmas because we had a bad ad agency. And so we regrouped and kind of launched in February, and we were starting to ramp up, and then COVID hit, and then every major advertiser pulled out of Facebook and Instagram ads. So we doubled down, and we're getting like 3 to 4 times the reach that we were beforehand. And so what actually happened is we outsold all of our product, most of our product, to the point where we were out of so many sizes that we had to shut off our ads for the last like 45 days or so.
On or off of Amazon?
Off of Amazon, our website, sure. Facebook and Instagram ads. And so, everybody's making masks right now. So we're having a real challenge trying to get product back in. I just picked up these white shirts, which you've already sold through a good chunk of. Just got them a week ago, and we're already sold through quite a bit. So we're moving our production. The initial runs were all made in LA so that I could keep my hand on the production and make adjustments as I had to going along. But our production's moving to Turkey, where the quality is going to go up significantly. Our cost is going to come down, and we're going to add 5 new colors in the next 60 days or so. So
did you say you're manufacturing in the US?
So $1 Million Collars, 100% made in America. Go Tieless's first run of 4 colors was made in America right here in LA, because I wanted to be really close to that production process and make adjustments on the fly as I needed to. It's the first time we've made a dress shirt. And so I wanted to be close to that process and really understand, what could and couldn't be done. So now that we're going to Turkey, we're having conversations and we can speak their language. And we're about ready to order 5 new colors from Turkey.
Turkey's absolutely amazing for shirts, by the way, but I'm sure that. That's why you're already there. I mean, they're just like the spot to be, like the Mecca for making shirts.
Yeah, I mean, you can see down here, this is their color catalog of fabrics they sent me. He's like, that's a $200 book. So if you don't order, I'm either going to charge you or you just send it back to me. So.
And for people that are going to be watching this on a video at a yet to be announced date on a yet to be created YouTube channel, is the shirt that you're wearing Go Tieless?
Yeah, so this is the white one. We just got back in stock. The Go Tieless, our little difference is that we usually have a contrast collar band, which is cool if you ever get ring around the collar and stuff. So it's a little bit darker. It's always a contrast inside of both plackets, because that's our signature, the placket. So you can see both sides. So it's a nice contrast. And then inside the cuff, even though I have my sleeves rolled up, but inside the cuff. So, you know, it's still business, but it's not like these crazy, insane things you can't wear. But it gives a little pop of color, a little contrast in that second spot.
Most people think that when they're manufacturing apparel that they have to go to China. How did you, I guess, debunk that and realize that you could make it in your backyard, and your prices are still, for your shirts that I see online, are still very, very affordable?
Yeah, I mean, China still is up in the air on whether or not they respect patents. And I knew I didn't want to go and put myself into that category with $1 million collar. I mean, as soon as they find out about it, I'm sure it's going to come out of the back door. The beauty is that my product is made in America, and there's a special blend of materials that makes $1 million collar what it is, to be as heat resistant as it needs to be to handle dry cleaning. So I was always avoiding China from day one, and which turned out to be good after the coronavirus came out. And you know, even people on our ads, even people on ads that said made in the USA would be like, where are these shirts made? China? I'm like, no, dude, it says right on the ad, made in America. So it worked out really good. I mean, we don't make any money right now. It's so insanely expensive to make a shirt here. And it takes forever. So it's not worth it. This shirt should be like $160 for what we pay for to get them made.
Yeah, absolutely. What I saw on your website and on Amazon that you were featured in several publications, and the two that really jumped out at me were GQ and Business Insider. How did that come about?
You know, we reached out early on. We did a Kickstarter back before I had even finished the product, and so we were reaching out. Kickstarter was super hot in 2014 and 2015. So we were able to get people to respond, and we got articles and stuff written about that Kickstarter. We were actually going to make a shirt at that point. We didn't get funded, thank God. And that was a blessing in disguise. You know, it was a blow to the ego at the time, but people unequivocally, feedback was, why are you trying to compete with all the other brands? Why not license the technology? And why can't I put it in the shirts I already own? So I reworked the design, made it a universal fitting piece, and that's what we've sold 300,000 units of so far.
So even though you didn't succeed with the funding on Kickstarter, the feedback you got from the Kickstarter made it worth it. Am I understanding that right?
Oh, totally. I mean, look, I can fit $20,000 worth of inventory of $1 million collar in a shoebox. And, you know, I've now have half of my garage is full of 4 colors of shirts of, you know, go Tieless. So it's a space thing. It's a cost thing. I mean, the $1 million collar is relatively inexpensive on our side, you know, until you add in shipping and packaging and all this other stuff. But, you know, the cost to carry that versus, you know, a shirt that costs $30 and $40 a piece. It just, for us, we're self-funded and bootstrapped. So it was just financially, it made more sense to go the $1 million collar route.
Sure. Amazon seems to be one of the best, in my opinion, launch pads for starting to sell a new product online, but you've done really well on your website. I understand your website would be your main source of sales.
For $1 million collar, Amazon is much stronger for us than our website is. And it's to me, it's about the same cost. I mean, you know, our product starts at $14 for 5 sets. So the Amazon fees are 27% or something like. We're at $13.87, and I think it costs, they take $4 or $5 out of that. I can't remember what the number is, but you know, I only have to ship them product once a month. Their shipping rates to send stuff into FBA is so insanely inexpensive. You know, I can send 100 packs, 105 packs to them for like $5 or $6 on their account. So, you know, instead of it costing me $3 to ship somebody's order to them, plus a transaction fee, plus, you know, the advertising, all that other stuff, it weighed out. When you get to higher priced items, I think it makes more sense to do Amazon. So the shirts are up there, but we're still doing merchant fulfilled because we just don't have enough inventory to put them in multiple places yet, but we will.
For your website, what's been your best source of traffic? Facebook ads, Google ads? What?
Well, initially the traffic was from those YouTube videos, and then it's been Facebook ads. Facebook ads are good. You know, you can show the product. It's visual. People are scrolling, but you got to get people's attention quick. So
your avatar is what, me? You put in somebody clueless about fashion, save this person, and like I pop up and you send me an ad.
well, so one of the first ads that we shot, one of the jokes is people always say it's like Viagra for your shirt. So we took my gorgeous wife and put her in some lingerie and a dress shirt. So it was kind of like the morning after shot. It said, finally something that'll stay up all night. And so we ran those, we ran those ads to, people that like Howard Stern and, Dane Cook and stuff like that. And also that are into business and success and finance. And, kind of try to mesh those two groups together and see who responded. Those were pretty good.
I think I just identified the promo clip for this episode, like right there. Like, I want to jot down and tell my editors, like, this point and this point, chop it there.
Yep. Finally something that'll stay up all night.
That reminds me of this one that I see as a billboard on the expressways down here. And it says, your wife is hot. And it's an air conditioner, like repair service. And it's like the AC's out and they have this beautiful looking woman saying, and it says, your wife is hot. So that's pretty genius. You come up with that?
I think I did. I don't know.
Take credit for it. Whatever.
I'm not going to take credit for everything.
Rob, I know you're an extremely busy person. I try to keep these really consumable so somebody can just listen to it as they shoot to the gas station or something. But to be respectful of your time, otherwise I would just geek out with you all day here.
Hey, man, you got me. You got my attention. Let's roll.
What? You don't offer a service or anything, so I don't want to say like, how do people reach you? And I don't want to have your phone or your email crammed with people asking about how to sell on Amazon or how to go about getting a patent or anything. But what would you say to people that, kind of wanted to create something, not a shirt, not a stay. They had a product. They feel like they want to create a patent on it and they want to sell on their website and Amazon. They really want to follow in your footsteps almost. Like, what would you tell them?
One is be prepared. I hear no more than like insane amounts of no, and to the point of frustration of how do you not see what I'm trying to, like what everybody else sees. If I have a conversation with somebody and I think, wow, this product is great, who's the logical person to go talk to is Men's Warehouse. They have 2,000 locations, they sell dress shirts, and they have tailors in every location to install this in. And to me, it's a no-brainer. I have one of the only products on the planet that I can sell you a 5-pack on my website or Amazon and say, hey, the Men's Warehouse down the street will install those for you in 20 minutes. You just got to stop by. Now, what are you going to do for 20 minutes? You're going to leave, or are you going to stick around the store and probably buy something else? So I've been bashing my head against the wall trying to get into Men's Warehouse with just that pitch that makes all the sense in the world. And it's just like over their head. So get used to hearing no. 2 is stick with it. So in that same accord, hearing no, but there's so many unknown challenges. I've got a product I think that's a lot different than most other products that are out there. So I didn't really have a path to follow that was as easy. The dress shirts are a little bit easier to find somebody to follow the path on. And be ready to write checks, and lots of checks if you want to get a patent. Not saying that you shouldn't, but it's 5 years later and I still write regular $1,000 checks to our patent attorney, because getting it is just the first part. Keeping it is the second part. I mean, if you want a worldwide patent, it's $250,000 up front, and you have annual fees to every single country in the world that you want to be protected in. So you have to be selective on that. If you're going to bootstrap, and keep it in the US, that's one thing. But it's insane how expensive it all is. The other thing is there's a book out there, I think it's called One Simple Idea, where it's take your idea, go get a provisional patent, get the process started, which protects you. Now that their patents used to be, if you could prove that you came up with the idea in 1997, and I have tried to patent it now, you could prove that you did it earlier, they'll grant you the patent. Now it's first to file, so it's put up or shut up. So if you have an idea for under $1,000, you could file a provisional patent, get your idea in line. You write up a 1 sheet and start pitching it and try to license it. you have two options. You can go license it and get a little bit of mailbox money every month and not have to do a whole lot of work, or do what I've done and try to build a company around it. And, you know, it's my all-consuming life. So.
Well, follow your passion. It looks like this is something you're passionate about. Your story is amazing. You definitely lived up to and beyond. I just feel like I could do 3 different episodes on all these few little pieces of what you said.
Happy to come back.
Captain Kessler, it was amazing. First captain on the show.
I am happy to answer any questions. If you want to email me, it's rob@milliondollarcaller.com. I'll answer any questions anybody has. If you've got passion and you're about it, to me, it's paying it forward. And a lot of people helped me to get where I am, and I'm happy to do that back. So rob@milliondollarcaller.com.
Rob@milliondollarcaller. All right. Everybody on the show, I ask this at the very end, and then I'll be respectful of your time. What is your favorite book and why?
So a philosophy of my life is KISS, which my dad has told me 1,000 times, and it's keep it simple, stupid. And in my men's group, I ended up watching a production, or they would bring in speakers, and this guy Brant Pinvidic came in and talked about his book, The 3-Minute Rule. He was up there in a dress shirt without a tie and looked sloppy. So I went up right after his presentation and said, please let me upgrade your shirts because you're too cool and you look too sloppy. And we became fast friends. He's a personal friend of mine now, but I go to this book constantly because it's just shut up and get to the point and make it effective. And that's what the book's all about.
I've not read it. It's definitely going to be added to my book list. Captain Kessler, thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been amazing, and I will chat with everybody next week.
Let's talk yachts next time.
Liked what you heard and want to stay connected? Join our Facebook group or find me anywhere on social media at Wizards of Amazon, or text the word Amazon to 69922.